Welcome to ChannelX TV, sponsored by Volo. I'm delighted to be joined by Mark today, Head of Refurbished at eBay. So, hello, Mark. How are you?
Hey, Chris. I'm good, thank you. Great to meet you.
Excellent. Now, I wanted to talk today about the ever-increasing demand for refurbished tech, how we can reduce the e-waste rather than just keep putting it into landfill, and also touch on eBay's role in the circular economy. So, but first of all, demand for refurbished tech has been growing, not just on eBay, but across loads of different platforms. So what is actually driving it at the moment, this changing consumer behaviour? Is it that the price point and the cost of living crisis? Are people genuinely worried about our planet and its sustainability, or is it something else or a combination? What are you seeing?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. I think the front of mind for everyone right now is the cost of living crisis, right? So value is a key point in what the customers are trying to achieve through something like a refurbished proposition where you can get a great price and high quality. It just makes sense. So the dynamics fit perfectly into where the customer mindset is today. However, you're right, there is this underlying need and desire for people to want to be more sustainable and live a more sustainable life. So by doing the two combined together, it's actually really, really powerful, and they can not only make great savings and have the same quality with no exception on the experience, they also get to make an impact on the planet as well. So there's a feel-good factor that comes with that as well. That's predominantly driving it. At the same time, the supply is continuing to increase. There's more innovation in the market than there ever was before. Refurbishing a mobile phone has been the gateway for a long time. But we're seeing other products now come through which are meeting other needs in people's lives, and therefore they're able to adapt and adopt into refurbished in many different categories, not just a mobile phone.
And that's something I wanted to ask about, is that the kind of categories for refurbished devices, because we always think, yeah, it's a mobile phone, it's a tablet, it's a laptop. But I understand we're even into refurbishing air fryers. And I understand that Eve Williams, who general manager of eBay UK, got herself a refurbished air fryer last year. So what other products are there included in this refurbished categories?
Yeah, I mean, Eve's not the only person to have a refurbished air fryer. I can tell you, my wife's got one. I've got one sitting on the side in the kitchen. It's absolutely brilliant. So it expands into all categories, and we see refurbished air fryers. We've got refurbished mattresses, which always shocks a lot of people. Wow. We've got refurbished scarifiers. We've got refurbished audio systems. The categories are huge, and because of innovation that's coming through in the industries, we're able to bring more of these products to a high quality to our buyers. So the mattress is one that I love because it does get that wow reaction as you just did. Because it's just a different hygiene factor, right, that comes with it. But we're all comfortable sleeping in a hotel, which has probably been used a lot more than a mattress that's been returned and refurbished to extremely high condition by that manufacturer and then resold with a high standards, but with incredible savings against it. So it's about shifting the mindset. It's about identifying where those products are that have a supply coming through, and B, the low barriers of entry for a customer that says, I trust this makes sense to me, and I'm willing to give it a go. Big brands like Dyson, Ninja Shark continue to grow significantly and invest money into growing their own refurbished proposition.
So talking about trust, can you tell me what a consumer can expect from a refurbished device nowadays? I remember the days where you kind of had used, good as new, used, open box, but refurbish is a bit different to that. It's not just a return product that's been sort of dusted and put back in the package, is it? What actually happens, and what is the difference between a used product and a refurbished product?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I bought my first iPhone was refurbished back in the early 2010s. Didn't have as much money back then, and I needed to make a value saving. I found a platform that graded good, very good, and excellent, and made a decision based on what I wanted and the quality that I wanted to go and purchase. That's just got bigger and bigger over the last 10 to 15 years. Mobile phones have driven a lot of the grading criteria. When we look at other categories, that's continued to be brought through into those products. What you're looking at really is a product that's been used or opened, the box has been opened, Before it's then resold, it's been checked by a qualified or a vetted seller or a partner in the supply chain, who's then ensured that it's meeting the criteria, it's fully functional, 100% functional, there's no defects on the product, and it might look a bit different. On a phone, for example, the biggest defects are scratches, and it'll be graded based on good, very good, excellent, or whatever the retailer's proposition is. So it's generally aesthetics, but every single refurbished product is sold on eBay should be 100% functional, and there's no difference on the quality of experience. And that's the same with the air fryer, right? You can still get the same good tasting food when you cook in an air fryer as you can if you cook in a brand new air fryer. You just make a significant saving with refurbished products.
So what are eBay doing to help the refurbishers and highlight the quality of their products? Because I've bought refurbished products, and to be honest, the last one I bought, I honestly couldn't tell the difference between a brand new product and the refurbished. And I'm a huge fan. In fact, this shirt is, I know it's not a tech product, but this is effectively a pre-loved shirt that I bought on eBay. So, but for those that, when they're searching, they see a product, and the eBay's famous for having fantastic quality used products. Yeah. But how do you highlight when something has been professionally refurbished and is going to be effectively as good as new, and it probably comes with a warranty and 30-day returns and everything you'd get with a new product?
Yeah, it's fair. So when you're searching and you search for iPhone 12 or a laptop, whatever you're searching for, if there's a refurbished item that we have in the range, it'll surface in the same way the algorithm always works with search results. But you'll see a blue tick that says refurbished on eBay. That's the first signal. If you click into the listing and start to look through the page, it gives you a description of what good, very good, or excellent, or our premium grading of certified refurbished, and it gives you a brief explanation as to what it looks like as well. Every seller that qualifies for the program has a video that eBay injects onto their page, which explains what the refurbishing program is and the standards that it adheres to. So again, just building that trust with the consumer. Every product that is sold through the Refurbished program comes with a 12-month seller guarantee, actually, not just a 30-day money-back guarantee, which the eBay guarantee stands over it as well, but they get a 12-month seller guarantee on top of that as well. So we have lots of trust signals that we communicate consistently to buyers at every step of the way, and we're always looking to optimize that and improve that.
So look for the blue tick for the certified refurbisher. And what checks have eBay actually done for these certified refurbishers? I mean, I presume I can't just go and sign up tomorrow and you just say, oh, yeah, Chris, you can have the tick. What checks do you do to make sure that they really are supplying quality refurbished products and they can offer the warranty, etc.?
So every seller's vetted before they join the program. So they have to apply via a link on the eBay Seller Community Hub. Once they apply, it then goes through to our program, who then checks to meet, do they make the criteria. So there's certain standards around biometrics. So making sure the products delivered, we have a standard, making sure that their products that are delivered meet certain requirements and expectations of the consumers. So we track a lot of measures, a lot of different metrics on a consistent basis. Once the seller's accepted, they then get some coaching from the team to explain, here's the process, here's what we expect. We send them information as well. And then all through the life whilst they're on the program, we monitor their metrics and we feedback where they can improve and where we think there's additional ways they can support. When it comes to certified refurbished, which is our highest grade, these are the products that have been approved by the manufacturer. So either directly from the manufacturer themselves, like Dyson, Sharp, Ninja, Sonos as another example, Simba as another example in the mattresses category. These manufacturers said, yes, this meets our criteria and we are willing to put our name to that. So that's our certified refurbished standard, which is something that we're super proud of. The brand relationships that we have are really, really strong and ultimately give our consumers a point of trust to buy directly from these big brands like Dyson, Sharp, Ninja, Simba.
That's amazing, and it's like having the brand name behind it is fantastic. But also, could you give some examples of some retailers that have seen real success? Maybe they're the brand, but maybe they're also an appointed, authorised representative of the brand. What sort of scale are their operations? What sort of premises do they have for doing the refurbishing?
I think it's an interesting question. So I think one of the things I love about working with eBay is we get to work with sellers of all different shapes and sizes, and they measure their successes all differently, right? So some of my most successful sellers that I love to talk about are the ones that are also giving back to the community. So we have lots of social enterprises who, they get products from schools or education for free. They clean, they recycle, they cleanse the products, they refurbish the products, they give some back to the community for free, and they use eBay as a channel to sort of fund that work they do. So that's a great success. I love that side of it, and their operations are relatively small. You look on the flip side of it, and there are huge sellers on the platform. You can see, Music Magpie is one of the most famous sellers that we. There are other sellers like Stop Must Go, I Do Direct, who have got a lot of pedigree in this space and have built business models on this for 5-10 years and longer. Their operations vary. The categories they work with and operate with change as well. So I think success is measured differently by each seller and each operation. But I think we're super proud of the sellers that we work with today, and for different reasons.
Yeah, and I've bought all sorts of refurbished products off eBay over the years. Everything from phones to laptops, and without exception, always been delighted with them. So finally, though, if a refurbisher wants to sell on eBay and they want that sort of top certified refurbished tag against their products, how do they qualify for it? And you mentioned there's a link. We'll make sure we put the link just below this video for anyone watching. But what are the main things that they need to be ready for to qualify? So
good question. So for example, we have a criteria of the item not received. They'll sign up to a contract. Effectively, it says they'll meet these requirements. Item not received needs to be less than 1%. Their stock significantly not as described items need to be lower than 4. There are various others, but these are kind of 2 of the key components. We absolutely have some flex within that at times, because we understand that this is a human process, right? And that there are expectations, but they're benchmarked against their peers effectively. So we work with our sellers to say, okay, here's what we expect, here's what we want to get to. Sellers will qualify based on that. And we know that once they're in the program, there might be moments when Royal Mail doesn't pick up from their deliveries, or another carrier lets them down. We are human. That's what makes eBay the business we are. We work with those sellers, we'll understand their challenges, and we'll support them to make right by the buyer. So the expectations are quite clear. They're clear on the websites once we send the link below. If anyone is interested, please do reach out via that. But then
on the actual refurbishing side, what are the expectations there?
So it depends on the product group. It really depends on the product group. There are some products that are simpler to refurbish than others. There are some that are more complex. There are clear commodities of scale with categories like mobiles, where the iPhone 12, the screen size, the chips, the processor is generally the same across all the models. There are other categories that get far more complex, and the parts you need to do to replace or to repair are different. So it does depend on the category and the expectation of what refurbished means. Like a mattress is very different to a phone, and so and so the sellers, we work with the sellers to understand that, and within each category, there's slightly different criteria.
Fantastic. And just before I let you go, what's the most interesting refurbished product you've bought that perhaps you wouldn't think you could get it as a refurbished? You may have already said it, being the air fryer.
The air fryer is one I think we're super proud of. I think the air fryer is one I'm super proud of. As these are products which were, when we launched this, were in short supply in the industry and were at a premium price, and actually working directly with India, we managed to bring them through at a great price and offer great savings at a key time for buyers. That's interesting for me. I haven't bought a mattress. That's probably my most unique item that I think is game changing. The item that I bought, which probably changed my perception the most, was the laptop I bought before. So this was a few years ago, and I bought a HP Envy laptop from one of the sellers. I was able to buy this for about £600 cheaper than the retail price. I was super impressed when it arrived. It looked great. It didn't have any scratches on. I just thought it was an absolute bargain. And so that was a bit for me as a consumer that my mindset really shifted. I bought mobile phones before. A laptop was always a little bit more of a hard decision to make. It was software, privacy behind it. But when I had that great buyer experience, for me, I was sold. And so my wife does get frustrated with some of the refurbished items to bring home. You know, I've got a refurbished Nintendo Switch for my kids, refurbished iPads for my children. We've both got refurbished iPhones, my wife and I. But these are where I make great savings, and only pass it on to the family, and so we can spend that money doing other stuff.
Fantastic. Well, Mark, I want to thank you so much for your time. And for anyone watching this, if you are interested in becoming a certified refurbished seller on eBay, as I said, we'll put the link just below this video. But I think this is a space that is just going to get bigger and bigger in terms of retail on eBay, but on every other site as well. So, Mark, thank you for your time today, and look forward to speaking again in the future.
Awesome. Cheers, Chris. Take care. Bye.